the Island of Despair, or better known as Zetsobou no Shima. It's the second DLC map for Black Ops 3 Zombies, which over time has become a controversial map within the Zombies community. Zetsobou is probably the least played map on Black Ops 3 and has often received a lot of criticism. Personally, I was never a big fan of this map throughout the Black Ops 3's life cycle, but after doing the Easter egg, I have to admit that there was much more to this beauty in the skies than I could ever imagine. So let's dive into the mysteries and secrets of our fourth adventure of this video. So I spawned in, ran straight to the gobblegum machine, cut off the spider web and got shopping free, and immediately ran on a shopping spree like I was Kim Kardashian. I opened every door I could come across. I bought the VMP, the Bowie knife and the M8 and picked up the first shield part, and then I ran back to spawn and ended the round. I spun the gobblegum machine once more because I have a crippling gambling addiction. And my luck wasn't running out anytime soon because my second spin was Spurkaholic. Next, I picked up the first skull that we needed to clean or something to make the skull on non-subway. I completed the first ritual, placed down the skull and picked up the second one. Then I proceeded to complete the second ritual and then I ended the round. Next, I ran over to the challenges pillar to check out what challenges I had to complete. And let's just say I wasn't prepared to play Farming Simulator. The 3 challenges I got was: number 1, use a spore to regain air underwater. And number 2, obtain a power-up from a plant. And number 3, eat a fruit grown from a plant. 3 easy challenges but required a lot of farming. But anyways, I ran over to the blue water side of the map to turn on the power. Then I ran over to the green water side and found our first part of the gas mask and turned on the power. And by that we could open the doors to the bunker. I located the second gas mask part and the last shield part, built the shield, ran over to the main power switch and cut off the spider web to begin the lockdown sequence underwater. And while swimming around, I actually completed my first challenge in the process. And 10 business days later, the door opened and we now had the main power turned on. Next, I completed the last 2 rituals, then the main ritual, and by that we had obtained the coolest specialist weapon of all time, and we could now begin the Easter egg. So, our first step was to mesmerize a picture on a wall by the purple water, and then mesmerize the wall by the elevator to gain access to the cog system. Next, I went down to the deepest part of the bunker and opened the door to the underwater cave where we could find a plant that we needed to build the KT4. Fast forward to round 9, we finally found a zombie with a green vial that we needed for the KT4, and on round 10 we got a power up from a plant and completed our second challenge. Next, I ran over to the blue water side and trapped a spider inside of the cage and extracted the spider's juices or something. Don't ask me. But anyways, we now had all the parts we needed to build the wonder weapon. I ran down to the bunker, mixed all the ingredients we had gathered, and by that we obtained the KT4. The next thing I did was to run across the map to water plants to try to get the fruit plant. And I have to say that running around watering plants isn't that fun. Like, it's a cool mechanic and all, and I appreciate the rewards you can get, but watering plants every round like a farmer isn't what I want to do when I'm playing a game of zombies. Anyways, I spun the mystery box to try to get a good weapon and got the brekkie on my first spin. So I took my farming looking ass down to the pack-a-punch and upgraded my shotty and decided it was time to defeat the gigantic spider boss. I ran down to the spider crib, and as soon as I saw the spider itself, I almost crapped myself. But then I remembered that I had idle eyes ready to go, so I popped that gum thinking that the spider couldn't see me, but I quickly realized that the gum didn't work when it came to spiders, because that fucking abomination began beating my ass as soon as he could, and I almost died multiple times, but after giving him a mouthful of shotgun shells, he finally died so I could pick up the last part that we needed, his tooth. I ran back to the challenge pillar and got a dingo as my reward for the second challenge, and finally on round 14, a plant grew a fruit that I could eat, and by that we had completed all our challenges. Next, I went down to the bunker and picked up rainbow water, dived into the underwater cave, mesmerized a wall and gained access to a new room where I could plant a seed and water it with rainbow water. Next, I ran up to the challenge area and waited for a lightning strike to hit my shield, to then hit the controller to the cage at the green water side. And by doing this, the door to the cage opened and we could now pick up a part that we needed for the KT4 upgrade. upgrade. Next, I spun the Gobblegum machine and got anywhere but here, and by using it on this map, you get sent to a special room where we could pick up the first cog that we needed to repair the elevator to gain access to the boss fight area. Next, I got the lightning to hit my shield again, hit the controller to the zip line, and got our second cog. And fast forward to round 17, I'd finally watered the underwater plant 3 times with the rainbow water and got the last part, or plants, that we needed for the KT4 upgrade. So I mixed the formulas like a nice cocktail, and we had now gathered the Masamune. And with that, we could now begin planting seeds around the map and shoot them with the upgraded KT4 to grow a fucking cannon bullet. I do not know what Jason Blundell was smoking on when he made this map, but it must have been some crazy shit, because what the actual fuck? But anyways, fast forward to round 20. We finally got the bullet we needed, and we can now place this bullet into an artillery cannon so we could shoot down a plane. And fast forward to round 21, the plane finally came flying towards us, so I shot that shit down with my gigantic cannon, located our last cog, placed the cogs into the machine, jumped into the elevator, and it was now time for the boss fight. So the Zetsobou no Shima boss fight is probably the easiest one of them all, because all you have to do is run around in circles and shoot the spores on Takeo's arms with your KT4. But as you may have experienced by now, anything that is easy in Black Ops 3 Zombies isn't easy to me. So after shooting 2 of the spores on Takeo's arms, I finally got my first down on this map. And I don't even know what happened, but I got hit harder than your uncle's belt on a Sunday when there's no beer left in the fridge. And 2 minutes later, a trasher decided to go all Mike Tyson on my ass and sent me straight to heaven. And as soon as I got revived by my self-medication Gobblegum, the recording suddenly stopped early and I didn't get the gameplay of me finishing the boss fight. And if you think I'm just gonna pull up a clip of Steve or something completing the boss fight, then you're absolutely wrong. Since I didn't get the full recording, I of course had to try again to get the gameplay of me completing the boss fight. So I hopped straight into a new game, got my ass cheeks clapped, and tried again, and finally we were back to the boss fight once more. I shot Takeo's arm and round 2 was on. I began spraying my dingle like a madman and almost got myself killed 2 minutes into the boss fight, but barely survived and shot Takeo's first arm. I kept spraying the dingo and the KT4 to not get my ass cheeks clapped once more, and I almost died again, but after jumping over spiders like I was Spider-Man, I managed to survive and shot Takeo's second arm. I kept running around and shooting the KT4 like a sprinkler on crack, but suddenly in the middle of the chaos, a trasher managed to get me red screen. But somehow we managed to survive, and we finally got Takeo's last arm. And by that, we had completed the Zetsobou no Shima Easter egg. Takeo's soul collected. Only 1 more to go, and 2 eggs to complete.
Guess it's you next, Nikolai.
Nein. There is something else we must do. There is a chain of events that must be set in motion.